Now, at the Yankee game yesterday was Aaron.
That's right.
Aaron Rodgers was there as a guest of Marcus Stroman. I've got to get to the genesis of that relationship. How'd they meet? What do they talk about? Things like that. I don't know if I'll ever find out, but it is curious. I mean, what is their connection?
Well,
I mean, they never played in the same city.
No, but just and again, as political as Aaron Rodgers is, and you guys can jump me for this if you want, because it's kind of an out there opinion. As opinionated as Rodgers is politically, do you get the sense that he doesn't get along with people that disagree with him? I think he's up for debate and conversation. Like, I wouldn't just assume that Stroman is in lockstep with him politically. I wouldn't make that leap. Would you?
I wouldn't even venture a guess. I have no idea.
I have no idea. No, but do you think I'm wrong? Like, I think Rodgers appreciates like debate. Like, does he look like someone that wouldn't, like, if you told him I'm 100% behind Biden, that Rodgers would shut you down and not have a relationship with you? Or
I don't know, but if you said
debating you,
if you said, I mean, I can't believe that you're supporting RFK Jr., he might shut you down.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I have no way to venture. I know that they somehow go together well. I get, like, you know what I'm saying?
So when we showed Rodgers on the air and we said he's a guest of Stroman, you said, yeah, that works.
Yeah, I said that sort of checks out. There's something troll. Now, listen, today's a hard day for me to say anything about Marcus Stroman. He played a great game last night, and then he supported his teammate who had a rough night on social. He was the perfect teammate last night. Did everything you want. But historically, if I'm going to look at those two guys, I see a couple of trolls who could certainly get along.
Well, I don't want to go there.
What do you mean?
Well, I'm just saying. I'm not
both
disagreeing
trolling
with you. I'm not. But
I will tell you this, though. From what I've seen, Stroman has been the perfect teammate. I mean, the guys in the room love him.
But could it be just as simple as he grew up on Long Island, maybe a Jet fan, and is trying to build a relationship with the quarterback of his favorite football team? I don't know who his favorite football team is, but growing up on Long Island, it's not crazy to think he might have been a Jet fan.
Totally.
Right.
All possible.
I wonder if he was tight with Zach Wilson.
Oof, Zach Wilson.
Anyway, we talked about RFK, and Aaron Rodgers is at OTAs. There's no restrictions on him whatsoever after the Achilles injury. And he was asked, how serious were you about being RFK Jr.'s running mate?
Yeah, I love Bobby. We had a couple really nice conversations.
Yeah, Bobby. I love him.
But there were really two options. It was
play football,
retire and be his VP, keep playing.
Or keep playing.
And I want to keep playing.
I want to keep playing. Bobby, I love Bobby.
So you're telling me that if he retired, he would have been the VP choice?
That's right, Michael. I would have been the VP choice. I love Bobby. I love Bobby.
So this is now your Aaron Rodgers imitation?
I'm trying. He does a thing that I can't get it yet. It's going to take me a little bit of time. But there's a thing
he's workshopping.
Yeah, I'm workshopping right now. But there's a thing he does there. Like, can I hear the beginning of it? And he goes, I love Bobby. Let me hear that one more time. I love Bobby.
Yeah, I love Bobby. We had a couple of
I love Bobby. I love Bobby. I love Bobby. He has a little thing. He does this little, like, soft little. That's what it is. Little. He, like, the way he pronounces certain words. There's a little. He just does a little thing with the words. You know
what's amazing about
little
Peter
something
Don?
or other. Yeah, a little bit.
Not many people have the stones, the onions, the cubes to workshop on an afternoon drive in New York City. But he does. And it works for him.
And I got news for you. I've looked around at what we're up against. My workshopping is better than they're doing after a lifetime of workshopping, all right?
So what you're saying, like, Bill Burr may workshop a joke, you know, at...
probably at the joke store.
At
the comedy store.
You know, Mr. Rips in Nyack.
Right.
Yeah, sure. The Ha-Ha Bowl in Indianapolis. Right.
But he's shopping the garden.
Right. Peter is workshopping the garden in the round.
Sports, talk radio is different. We got 3.5 hours. We're friends with the audience, you know?
Now, what bothers me about Aaron, and I still...
When he talks?
Well, no,
I like Bobby.
I'm not going to go as far as say I like Aaron Rodgers, but I'm not as anti-Rodgers as a lot of other people are. But one of the things is, does he really think, in all honesty, now say what you want about what the vice president does and all that.
Yeah, I love Bobby.
Does he really think that he has the experience and the knowledge to be the vice president of the United States of America?
I think he certainly believes. I mean, he might. He's a medical expert. He never went to medical school.
But the one thing about him, he is a professional questioner, and I dig people that question authority. I don't think we should have to take everything at face value, and I do appreciate that about Rodgers. But think of the audacity you have to. I would make a good vice president. Like really, like even though now that you know it's not going to happen, would it be that harmful to just be humble and say, "Come on, do you really think I'd be vice president?"
You're not going to like this. I believe I'd be a tremendous VP. I have no political experience at all.
But I would say to you that takes a lot of stones to be able to think that you could do that. Now, if you want to think that privately, fine, but.
Wait a minute. Our previous president had no political experience at all and became president of the United States.
Yeah, and say what you will about him politically. People have mixed feelings, I've heard. But he was able, if he'd wanted, he did the job as he wanted to do it. He was capable of doing the job. You may not like what he did, but to Michael's point, why couldn't Michael do it?
Well, let's ask 45. What do you think Rodgers would be as a VP?
Not very good. Not very good. Arrogant Aaron. He's so arrogant. He couldn't do the job, just like he can't win the big game. I don't think he's ever won. Maybe once. Maybe. I'm not even sure. I like Brett Favre and Don Majkowski, the Magic Man.
Now, Rodgers was talking about his recovery process from the ACL injury. He didn't have an ACL injury. His Achilles injury.
I love Bobby. I feel really good. It's just about the mental part. I think these practices have been nice the last couple of days. I just feel what it's like to be out there, to be moving around and not be thinking about it, and to see how I respond the next day. So it's just this last part.
Oh my God.
The movement's good. Just the confidence to do everything.
Because of Peter, he now sounds completely different.
I love Bobby.
I'm hearing him with different ears now.
Little Bobby. He says there's something about particularly the double letters. It's almost like he pronounces.
You ruined it for everybody.
He pronounces the double letters in a weird way. The Bobby, the little, all the littles, the Bobbies.
I guess you're right, Michael. I guess the VP doesn't do a lot, and if you have a lot of confidence But what would be so wrong to just double down on the football and just let Jet fans know, hey, listen, I was never going to do that.
He's not a humble guy.
But it just doesn't it come across, and I guess he doesn't care, and I guess Jet fans don't care as long as he's healthy, what does it matter? But would it have killed him to make the Jet fan feel good and say, I was never going to leave you. Come on, I'm all about football. It's nice that he wanted me to be a VP. Deep down, do I think I could do the job? Probably, but I'm all about football. Like, he's making it seem like he's doing you a favor. Like, guys, I could have been the vice president of the United States, but I decided.
Well, he could have run. He could have run for the vice.
But
I don't think Bobby's winning.
I don't think so either. Although
stranger things have happened.
Well, just strange because it's a war of attrition. We need to get to 6 months from now. I mean, it's the last man standing. God forbid.
He did decide to play football, though. So there is that. He said he had to choose, and he chose football.
But why does he have to make it seem like he's doing you a favor? Like,
because he wants you to think that.
But why can't you just double that? Say, come on.
Because he doesn't do humble.
But. It just, I always felt, I was on record, I think he's going to do all the right things. And for the most part, he has said and done all the right things. But it started to fade as time went on. And you guys, I think we ended up both being right. I was right that he was going to do the right thing, say the right things. But as time went on, he couldn't help being himself. But now he knows he's the quarterback of the team. He knew that was going to be the only option anyway. So why does he got to leave it out as like, I'm doing you the favor? That I could have run, I could have done, I would have done a great job. Like, just go play, man. Because no one cares what you did in Green Bay. As a matter of fact, Peter's right. As each day goes by and you're farther and farther removed from that, now you wonder whether he's going to do it here. So let's go out there and ball and be healthy. And what's the matter with a little humility? Is it that crazy?
I don't think he doesn't do humility. He's not that guy. He's just not.
And I guess you can appreciate the honesty, but I don't know. I think it would go a long way, wouldn't it?
I believe that, and this isn't a knock. I think Aaron Rodgers is very impressed with Aaron Rodgers. He thinks he's really smart and knows everything about everything. He doesn't do humble. He doesn't do humility.
No, I know a lot, Michael. I do know a lot, Michael.
He was asked, why is there pressure on this Jet team?
Well, I think if I don't do what I know I'm capable of doing, we're all probably going to be out of here. So I like that kind of pressure, though.
Yeah, I like that.
I know there's, it's a tough market to play in. It's
Absolutely.
not for everybody.
Yeah.
Relish that opportunity. And that's the way the NFL is. I'm not saying anything monumental as you guys are typing away and putting your... This is how it is every single year. You might not just say it, but as you get older in the league, if you don't perform, they're going to get rid of you or bring in the next guy to take over.
Next man
it happened in Green Bay. Right. So,
Jordan Love.
A few years older than I was back then. So I expect to play at a high level. I expect us to be productive and competitive and all that stuff to take care of itself.
Wow. All right.
Now, here's Robert Saleh. There have been some rumors that the Jets actually are looking around to replace Nathaniel Hackett. So here's an exchange with a reporter asking that question.
Robert, there was a report that you guys legitimately tried to hire someone who would replace Nathaniel Hackett. What was the thinking there?
I addressed all that stuff at the owners' meeting, so I'm not going to rehash
Well,
that.
this was a report last week.
It was rehashed from the owners' meeting.
So that means they did try to replace him.
Absolutely.
Oh, boy.
But talk about an epic fail. You couldn't get anybody to replace him? Now, I'll give my own answer to my own question. As Rodgers said, if they don't win, they're all out. Every one of them. Douglas, Saleh, they're all done. Every one. So nobody wants to come here and have that on their hands. And also, it's probably hard to coach Rodgers.
And it's also hard to coach when you got another coach. You want to be able to have control.
You want to hear Hackett being asked about the same thing? Or no? Michael?
You have Hackett asked?
I sure
Bless
do.
you. Oh,
All right.
Ooh, caught me.
This is what I would tell you. I don't know what those reports are, and I don't know where those sources came from. I know what happened with us, and it was great. We had a lot of conversations, got to talk with a lot of different people, and it's that simple. It's already been addressed.
But you talked to guys that were basically interviewing for a job here.
We had a lot of changes, so we were talking to a lot of people.
But what? So they were talking to people.
He was also asked, do you feel like Saleh still has confidence in you, Hackman?
Yes.
Was he involved more in the offense?
He's just been around a bunch, and it's great when you have that defensive perspective. We spice some things up versus our defense and kind of test them out, so it's fun.
Here's the strange thing about this. If they actually were looking for a replacement to Hackett, they had to get signed off by Rodgers. Unless they were going to somehow bring in somebody and Hackett would remain there. But they had to have a sign-off from Rodgers. They're not going to tick off Rodgers.
And listen, I think Rodgers has to realize that there's limitations to Hackett. You could like Hackett and like how he helps you, but also realize we can do better offensively.
Well, Aaron Rodgers was asked about the criticism of the Hackman.
I mean, it's been an interesting year, a couple years for Nathaniel. He's a tough guy, but we're all human, and I'm guessing that it wouldn't be the easiest situation to take that kind of critique over and over, but I think it's in the times of adversity, kind of the character is revealed, and I applaud him the way that he handled some tough times last year. Obviously, I'm aware of the stories that are out there, thanks to Eric. But obviously, there's a lot of faith in him.
Who's Eric? Who's Eric?
I'm going through the mental Rolodex now.
Well, Michael, let me ask you a question, Michael. Who's not Eric?
I love Bobby.
Well, I think this is a good time to make an announcement that we've all been sitting on.
All right.
But we have outbid the Pat McAfee show, and Rodgers will be a weekly every Tuesday with us during the football season.
I would enjoy that.
Thank you, Michael. I'm very happy to be here.
I made that up.
And I'm looking forward to having these conversations with you and Donnie and Peter.
Donnie was good.
Donnie, listen, Donnie, Mikey, Petey, I love you all, and I love Bobby, and just happy to have a conversation.
Workshopping on Afternoon Drive.
But
it's good workshopping.
It's good workshopping.
It's the title of his 15th
and it's
book.
going to get to a point where this is going to be as big, if not bigger, than 45. I believe.
That
my
can't be
prediction
better than 45.
My prediction is that Aaron's going to be making some picks this year. That's how you're going to perfect it to the point where he might be making picks.
Oh, well, It's a great point, Donnie. I pick I'll pick the Packers every week. I mean the Jets. What team am I on now? I forget.
Oh, somebody just texted me. It could be Eric Gelfand, the PR guy.
Oh, okay. I was going
Eric,
through the stats.
I love Eric. I love
Eric's
Gelly.
a good guy.
I love Gelly. Great guy.
But every answer that you got, they interviewed people. They wouldn't know it.
Bobby.
They were trying to find. And there's nothing wrong with that. Why not own it? Hey, this is an important season. The more the merrier. The more people that can get in here and try to help us offensively, why not? Hackett's got a history of working with Aaron Rodgers. It's not like he's got a history of guaranteed points being scored when he's the offensive coordinator. So I think when you asked if Rodgers is on board, I think Rodgers might have been the one that suggested it.
I wonder. That would be turning on your bud.
Well, but yes and no, because he could be your guy, your confidant, help you from a quarterback standpoint, but then also realize I think we're better off if we bring in somebody else to help with the offense. You're not going to get anything from Robert Saleh. He's a defensive guy. So in this season, he said everybody's going to be probably gone if this doesn't work out. Wouldn't you do everything humanly possible to make sure it works?
Yeah, but he's got such a true belief in himself that he thinks it's going to, if he stays healthy, it's going to work. I mean, would he sacrifice his buddy?
Well, let me ask you. Do you think they talk to people to come aboard and help Hackett offensively?
Yes.
Do you believe that Aaron Rodgers had to sign off on it?
I think he signed off on it where he said, have somebody come in and help. I don't think it was to replace Hackett.
You ain't having to have someone come in and help Hackett.
Because that would mean that Paul couldn't hack it. Well, it's not Paul. It's Nathaniel couldn't hack it.
I mean, if you can't handle that on your own, you know what I mean? Then maybe you're a lost
Well, Paul
cause.
couldn't hack it either.